Yeah, thanks for the introduction. Once again, Ben Schönbach, working for Denic as a DNS DevOps guy. And today I would like to talk about a little bit DSC data in the presence of, let's say, matrix-based systems like Mimir and Prometheus. And my first question would be, how many of you are still dealing with DSC data? Could you raise your hands, please? Okay, thanks so far. Yeah, since DSC is one of the most fundamental monitoring parts for DNSC data, it's still highly accepted on operator side as well as, I would say, Anycast customer side. And it simply works. But since times are changing, I would say we have to move forward. And as the big goal, we all would like to have this data inside a big all-in-one database to rule them all. But this is something for the next, I would say, years or decades. So this is just a short-term solution how to deal with DSC data now. And for that, the idea was, just give me a second. This one, okay. Yeah, so that's why we tried to build another tool that just tries to, let's say, import the DSC data and export it as a live matrix. And this live matrix can then be included by some other frameworks like Prometheus or Mimir. And on top, we just put a visualization framework like Grafana, something like this. Just for the guys who are not familiar with DSC anymore, a little bit just a short recap here. It's set up by two components. One is the collector and one was the presenter. The collector was running inside the name server locations, listening on an interface, aggregating the data, processing, and writes out an XML file. This XML file needs to be downloaded and then to be visualized inside your central data center, which was done by another tool which was called DSC Presenter. And it worked very well for many years, but now it's not maintained anymore, so you have to think about how to go on with this. So yeah, requirements and motivation. DSC works in a decentralized way, and that's a good thing. Why? Because it's the key feature if we talk about lots of computing nodes around the globe. Yeah, these computing nodes are serving high load, and they're doing also collecting data like TCP dumps. So why not put something on top which just does additional aggregation of data? And the other thing is, in our case, it's not enough to provide a solid service anymore. The Anycast customer would like to have a look inside your stack. It's like about traceability. It's like through the looking glass, what you're doing with that. How can we extract data? And yeah, that's the key feature, in my opinion, is the decentralized way, and we want to keep it, and we don't want to get rid of it. Also, what is the requirements on our side? Well, it should be fast as possible. After the DSC data is written out, we expect that it should appear in the visualization framework 2 minutes after that. Yeah. And besides, it should be multi-tenant based because we need a customer separation, and it should be as flexible as possible. Yeah. Okay, when we started to move forward after DSC Presenter, we had two ways to go. There was a pre-existing tool, it was called Data Tool. It's a cool tool and it fits, but we had a problem with saturation. Just here, a short recap. Presenter, you know it, it's all in one. It's a framework working as a front end plus a database. So you have everything in common. You have a visualization as well as database running behind of it. Then you have the lightweight export tool, comes from us, which is just an extractor, but it can be scraped by any metrics-based system, and it's microservice oriented. So you don't need a special instance running it and so on. And the data tool doing the same thing, just from a script point of view, and working also solid. You can attach a database or whatever. So that's the difference. Okay, just where is this tool integrated to give you a better overview here? It's from the left to the right. On the left side, the customer comes in, accesses DSC data via API or downloads it from a server. In the middle part, we have these so-called customer DSCs, which can be just a pod or a virtual machine, running two types of software components, the downloader who downloads the DSC data, and then the exporter who extracts the data as a metric. And on the right side, you see the name server locations around the globe. This is it. So the software is located in the middle part here. Okay, as we move forward, we start with data tool. It felt good, so we set up this data tool on the DSC server side, which just downloads the data, and then it's just integrates the data and exports some text-based matrix file. And afterwards, you can use something like, which is called an influx client, that reads the data and puts it inside a database. It worked very well, but this was the bottleneck we feared, because we just saturated this injection. So InfluxDB was highly saturated with just one customer after one day, and nothing went through anymore. So this is why we just said, okay, do we really need this database right now? Just can we get rid of it? We just want to visualize the data. Okay, let's try it. So what we did, just the same thing, just remove the data and just serve the data as on a dedicated endpoint, and it's scraped every 30 seconds. So the only thing what you keep in mind is you don't have a solid archiving here, but it's up to you how you define your Prometheus or Mirror, how keep the retention time. So we set the retention time for 9 months right now. Does this fit? It depends on you. In the past, we had kept the data for years, and then we recognized we never took a look on it. It was like, okay, well, how was the data last week? How was the traffic last week? How was it 2 hours ago? But it was never, what did we do 4 years ago? So that's why we said, okay, for a first start, let's get rid of it. Let's do it like this way. And here are some performance analysis. And as you can see, if we have lots of incoming DSC files, and here we talk about thousands, in our case, it's around about 3,000 per minute, plus minus. We can reach saturation when we talk about the data to according 2,000 files per minute. Then we get more files than we can export. And for the exporter tool, it's a little bit higher. You can say, okay, we can reach at least 10,000 files per minute until we reach saturation with one single instance, which is enough on our side. More important is the, let's say, the delta time, which is the time until the time gap between output of DSC collector until it appears in the visualization framework. And as you can see, it's quite good. We hit that 2-minute approach we wanted to achieve. And even for 10,000 files, we can do it in less than 2 minutes. So that was the goal. Data tool, the same thing. It takes a bit longer time, but keep in mind it's for solid archiving. We don't have solid archiving with the DSC exporter here. Just the same thing, a little bit more in the table. Using the DSC data exporter tool, you stay below the 2 minutes. Yeah, data tool almost a bit higher, but also good. And DSC presenter took the most time because it collects data, reorders the data according timestamp, and this takes some time until during the initial setup. So concluding this, what fits better? It's up to you. If you need high performance, use the matrix, the DSC exporter. If you want to have a little bit more database-oriented solution, you can use the data tool. But yeah, this is it. No clear winner here. It depends on your purpose. Yeah, the tool is available. So if you would have to look on it, it's on the GPL version. It would be lovely if more than we can contribute to this approach, because we want to keep it living. And maybe for a future work, we would also extend this part for interface for a database, maybe in this case, which can be, in our case, we think it could be a ClickHouse database or something like this. But this is more related to data science than DNS in this part. Okay, so this is it.
Thank you. Any questions?
Hello, Klaus Sarellion from Nick.at. So did I understand it right that you now store the whole data in a Prometheus database and use Grafana to present it?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so thanks. I think there are some dashboards which a DSC presenter offers, but they're difficult to make in Grafana.
Exactly.
So which is not time-based.
Talk about top talkers and something like this. Yeah, top talkers is a bit, not all of the data sets of the DSC presenter can be easily aggregated to a matrix-based system, because if we talk about top talkers, you will blow out the labels in proportion. 2 ways how you can handle this. You don't inject this into the matrix system and visualize it on a different way. You do a script which works on this and creates some, I don't know, fancy front end. And the other thing will come up that the big successor of Prometheus is Mimir. And Mimir is the big brother, and it can handle as much as time series as possible. And they are looking for this large scale mid labels feature. And this is a way where you can also inject some, let's say, data sets like top talkers maybe in feature. And the key feature is it just doesn't store all the time for 1 hour. It just keeps a short time frame for these labels. And then the number of labels is lower than you inject everything.
Okay.
And it will not blow everything out of proportion. But yes, not all data sets are suitable for metrics. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Any more questions? No, I think that's it. Thank you, Benjamin.